I think that's a very good question, and at present is the issue that needs to be resolved if we are to see the cap on tuition fees removed. Even just recently in 2004, when higher education institutions were allowed to raise their fees up to £3,000, I felt what was lacking in terms of preempting how students would respond was actually clear communication and transparency in terms of how exactly this increase in tuition fees, why exactly this increase is necessary, whether or not it will change your experience of university. And I thought it was actually a good point at which you could actually emphasise what university is there for, what are the benefits of university, what can you go out and achieve in terms of extracurricular activities, what the experience is at university that you will benefit from, and also the benefits post-university in terms of employment opportunities and sort of, earning capacity in the long run. I feel with any issue with regards to tuition fees, I think it's an issue of communication and transparency. If students were really sort of kept well informed beforehand, so that many of the questions which they then answer are already answered, then I think it would, you wouldn't have this situation where you're finding this, very sort of consumerist driven, counting sort of the cost every step of the way. That's my take.
Yeah, so I think that's a good point. I think it's something. The point I was trying to make earlier is that consumerism isn't always bad. I just think there comes a point where it falls short and is practicable in higher education. And the point that's been cited about lecturers turning up late and students wanting to make a point of that. Well, that's always unacceptable. Whether students are paying for their education or not, it's unacceptable for lecturers to turn up late or not turn up and not tell students they're going to do that. I think if students
you're not paying, you don't care so much.
Well, it still means it's unacceptable. And if students are going to be more demanding, I think. Yeah, I'd have thought so. And if students are going to be a final point, if students are going to be more demanding, I think that's a good thing. I just think universities, if they're going to say they dislike the consumerist approach, then they're going to have to be more determined and more prepared to guide and facilitate that determination in a productive way, because it could end up that just ends up being a cycle of complaints and responding to complaints, and I think that would be detrimental.
I think the important thing is to ask who is going to benefit from the changes that are proposed, that the systems are being put in place. If they're going to benefit students to have a better time at university as a consumer, I'm all for it. But let's make sure, I don't think Peter Mandelson is standing up saying, I want these changes for the benefit of students. He wants them for the benefit of the dominant social political model that he's part of. And that's what the questions you need to ask is, what is the point of this? If it's all about making sure that Mr. Tesco gets what he wants in his stores, I don't support it. If it's about students having a better time at university, I do.